Woody here. Just another bonus video. Basically, I did the other week the obscure 11 1 and 2. I got asked for basically to do it again. A couple of people, so here we are. I've got, I guess, another 2 obscure 11s here. These ones here, these players that I've put in this one, you probably know more of them this time than last time. And these ones as well this time, I've probably gone for ones that are a little bit more, they're better. Essentially, you'll be able to get them for like mid-Premier League, Premier League table teams would do a good one. So, let's get started. Now, goalkeepers, so most of you guys probably know who this guy is. Franco Costanzo from River, Argentinian. Turns out to be amazing in the future. I mean, look at this one-on-ones, fitness, consistency, big match. He's a really, really good goalkeeper. Most people generally know who he is. Yeah, might not. Argentinian is a bit of a problem with a work permit, though. So he is the goalkeeper in the, I guess, part 2 obscure-ish 11. I'm not sure what to call this yet, but we'll figure that out. Right, let's head up left back. Once again, left back. Bit closer to home this time. Luis Emmanuel from Bradford, 17 years old. Turns out to be pretty good, actually. Generally gets capped for England sometimes. With a bit of luck, there are a few good left backs though in this version. Obviously, with like Ashley Cole, who is only 20, but Luis Emmanuel there can do a good job, and Bradford, obviously being in the Championship, can get in there. So he's in at left back. Let's flick over to right back. Right back, we're gonna head to the old stomping ground of Champman 0102 Legends, which is Scandinavia, for Carl Corneliusson, the Swede. He's 24, so he's a little bit older. Can play right and left. Preferred footed is right though. AIK, and once again, obviously, a lot of these guys over in Sweden, they're on one part-time semi-professional contracts, and they are worth not a lot of money. So, Carl Corneliusson there, slotting in at right back. He's pretty decent. He'll do a good job for you, like I said. Good work rate, teamwork, set pieces, stamina. You know, some decent stats around here. Determination is always a bonus. We are now in the centre-back position. And I suppose a lot of these players are interchangeable between the two teams. There's no kind of like a better one. So I guess I kind of stuck in Mark Bauer, another Bradford player here. He's also can play on the left, but mainly a central defender as well. He's left-footed, so he's good to play on that left side of the back too. Fairly decent, and once again can generally be picked up quite cheap. Does turn out to be really quite good in this as well. Once again, I've seen him been capped by England before as well. Good bravery, which is what you always want from a centre back as well, especially for a 21-year-old. He's got stats in all the right positions, which are in minimum of double digits, and obviously they increase over time. So he gets in there, obviously, with Emmanuel as the left back. So a bit of a Bradford pairing there between those two. Now the other centre back, we can't go past having an Australian in the team, obviously. Stephen Labert at the Brisbane Strikers. He's not too bad. He can do a fairly decent job, probably, you know, if you can get him in a League One or a Championship team. Does a good job, but unfortunately he is just Australian, so it can be a struggle with work permits for him. Maybe if you're, I don't know, playing somewhere where work permits aren't an issue, he can be picked up. I have seen him before. Sometimes he has a little bit more pace than this, but you know, like I said, can't go past without at least one Australian in the team. So there's the back four: Costanza, Emmanuel, Cornelissen, Bauer, and Leibert. Now I've gone for the standard 4-4-2 here, and this guy here. I guess probably more of a central defender, but can play that defensive midfielder role. Erik Bjornsted Hagen, 25-year-old Norwegian. Once again, not on a lot here. Quite cheap, can be picked up from Vålerenga. Not sure how you say that, but he does really good. He's brave, he's aggressive, makes a decent captain, determination. He's loyal. He's got some good stats in here as well. The big matches and consistency. So he is definitely a really good player. So I tend to. It depends which team I am. I tend to try and go in between of centre back and defensive midfield for him. But just to try and I guess sort of sandwich him into this team, I've decided to play him in the midfield in maybe that DMC kind of role there. So partnering Big Eric in the midfield. We've got this guy's pretty well known once again over in Scandinavia. Where is he? Jonas Lunden at Elfsborg, 20-year-old Swedish. Yeah, probably more so to be on the right. I've put him in the midfield. I think his best position, once again, the part-time and really cheap. His best position I found is kind of like behind the striker in that sort of that free roll. Same spot you'd put like Abga Barsam in there as well. He can do a really good job for you in there as well, and he does generally turn out to be pretty good. Good penalty taker as well, actually. So Jonas Lunden there, partnering Big Eric Bjornsted Hagen in the midfield. Now on the left, we've got an Egyptian, Wael Rayad at Al Ahly. It's the same club that Ibrahim Saeed is at, so obviously he is a champman legend and usually gets picked up. But Rayad here, I like to think of him as a young Mo Salah. I mean, he's acceleration, agility, creativity, determination, just dribbling, flair, decent captain. He's fast, set pieces, technique. He's amazing at 18 years old. Once again, super duper cheap. Obviously, the big issue is he's Egyptian, so work permit is a bit of an issue, but can get around that. Front, forward, left, right, centre. Can play either. Probably wouldn't play him up front as a striker. His finishing's quite poor, but definitely out on those wings or even behind the striker with that creativity. He turns out to be pretty damn good as well. So Wael Rayad, something like that. I'm butchering his name. On the right, this guy is a pretty well-known chairman legend, I guess, as well, is Paweł Brozek out at Whistler, 18-year-old Polish kid. Got him on the right. Excellent dribbling, bravery, acceleration, pace, all those things you need. He turns out to be absolutely amazing, but Polish. Little bit of a struggle there getting a work permit for him as well. But there's lots of ways there's lots of ways around those work permit issues that, as we know of. The 40k, waiting till the window opens, or if you're playing in like Belgium or Italy, or Holland, you don't have to worry about work permits. Just sign whoever you want. So there's the midfield: Erik Bjornsted Hagen, Jonas Lunden, Wael Rayad, and Paweł Brozek. Cool. Now, like I said, guys, these guys will be a bit more well-known, so you'll probably know most of them. But, hopefully you don't. Hopefully, like the last video, you pick up, at least one or two players that you've never heard of. Right, up front, now we've got no idea how to say this guy's name. Sergil MacDonald, the Dutch Suriname striker, 16 years old at the start of the game. I mean, pretty cheap. You struggle to prize him away from Anderlecht unless you're obviously quite a big club. But, you know, for a 16-year-old striker, I mean, look at these stats here. Like, okay, he's got his balance is quite poor, which can be a bit of an issue for strikers, getting pushed off the ball and whatnot. But generally, he does turn out to be quite well. I mean, realistically, you give this guy 6 years and he's still only 22. And he turns into a absolute monster by then. So Sergil MacDonald up front, and to partner him, we've got Todorov. Not the Todorov, Sladislav Todorov at Portsmouth. No, we've got, there's a lot of Todorovs in this game. I should have been more specific. Let's put his first name in there. I forgot how many Todorovs there were. I've got something wrong here. That's not his first name. There he is. Stefan Todorov from CSKA Sofia. 19-year-old Bulgarian. You know, his club's super cheap. Work permit will be an issue, but, you know, wait a few years or whatever. So 19, he's got some good stats for strikers. 14 pace, jumping, heading, acceleration, balance, determination, decent finishing, off the ball 7, yeah, it's not great. Strong set pieces. He turns out to be generally quite good as well. I've used him a few times. If you're a bit lucky, playing lower leagues in Italy, I've grabbed him and he scores goals quite well. So Stefan Todorov there, rounding off the strike partnership with McDonald. Right, now for the next 11, I guess, if you want to call it that. Goalkeeper, we've got quite a well-known one, Jamie Langfield from Dundee, 21-year-old Scottish goalkeeper. He's pretty good, so you know, no issues with work permits there, unlike Costanzo. Dundee are they in the? Yeah, they're in the Premier League, so can be a little bit difficult to get him right away from there. You probably have to be a Premier League club, I generally find, to get him. And then we've got left back. Once again, another kind of well-known left back, but he's one of my favourite left backs. Is Lee Young Po from Anyang, South Korean. Obviously, like, once again, worth an absolute pittance, not on a lot of money. Usually wants to leave to a big club pretty soon and just, I mean, gets assists and 8s and 9s for fun. Stamina, technique, work rate, great. Maybe a bit flary for a left back. Pace, determination, bravery, great stats all around, fitness. So he's a really good player. Maybe a bit more well known than anyone else, but one of my go-to left back kind of players. Right back, a little bit less of an unknown here. We've got Jimmy Tam from Häcken, the Swedish 18-year-old. He can also play across the back. 18, so he's quite young once again, not worth a lot of money. He generally gets quite good as well. I mean, tackling already at 19 for an 18-year-old. I don't know why he's got strength of 1. That's not good. I think he's got a few random potentials, so could be a little bit hit and miss with him. But strength of 1, yeah, that's absolutely shocking. And his consistency is really poor too. I've never seen these stats before on some of these players. So anyway, he is still squeezing in there at right back. Jimmy Tam. Great Swedish name, Jimmy Tam. Right. So in the centre back, we've got Nachev, Nikolai. No. Nikolai Nonchev, Bulgarian. Sweeper defender from Botev Plovdiv. Not worth a lot of money. Bulgarian. Work permit could be an issue there, but he's got some really, really good stats, like good jumping, marking, pace. Positioning's a bit low. He's only 22. He's good tackling, strength, stamina, aggression, acceleration, bravery, determination. He's a really, really decent centre back, and he's not worth a lot. Once again, a lot of these guys, if you're playing somewhere where you don't need a work permit, they will do a really, really good job for you. So Nikolai Nonchev. And his partner at the back is going to be another one with an absolutely difficult name to spell. Hivko. This guy from Litex, Bulgarian once again. He's been capped this time, so he's a little bit more pricey there. Once again, central defender, really good loyalty, consistency, great stats down this column here, and the middle column's really good as well, and some decent ones over here as well, with 9s for ones that he's not even really going to need. So he's a really good all-round centre back. Once again, does a pretty good job as well, and his stats do improve quite quickly as well. So that was the back four. Don't make me say their names again. In midfield, we're going to have Good Johnson. Not Ida Good Johnson. Jonas Karl Good Johnson from Betis. Icelandic, 21-year-old. Tends to get overlooked, I feel, sometimes. I've only seen his name pop up a few bits. Obviously, at Betis, you've got some great players like Joachim there. He should have probably... he's amazing. He's still playing as well, which is amazing. And Danielson, we're getting off topic here. But Jonas Karl Good Johnson does a really, really good job at that DMC spot. He's aggressive. He's good off the ball. Set pieces is really decent. He's strong. Positioning as well. Fitness. And at 21, he improves massively. And I have seen a couple of times as well, for some reason, at Betis, he seems to not get any game time, and can be picked up quite cheaply sometimes. But yeah, he's a really good DMC for you to pick up there. Right, partnering him in the midfield is Fabio Gatti from Catania, all the way in Serie B. 19-year-old, central mid. It's pretty good, to be honest, for a 19-year-old. Off the ball's maybe a little bit low, but he's got good passing, positioning, decisions, creativity, agility, teamwork, technique, work rate. These are things you love for midfielders. Good fitness as well. So he's got some decent stats there, sitting at 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, and they'll improve obviously as well with him only being 19. So he's a really good purchase as well. Especially you can usually pick him up for about $1 million, maybe a little bit more. So Gatti partnering Good Johnson in the centre of midfield there. Now on the left, I've got this guy here, Ben Olsen out at DC United, 24-year-old American, so he's a little bit older. Now I've put him on the left. He can play on the right, and he is right-footed. Anyway, was it not Nottingham Forest? Didn't know that, actually. He's pretty good. I think it's pretty easy for him to get a work permit because he is in the American team already, and he does have 17 caps to his name. But he's a pretty decent winger. He's pacey, and he's got some good stats down here, which will improve stamina, work rate, and all that. All those ones that you want to tick there for that midfielder. So Ben Olsen out on the left there. I guess you could play him on the right as well. He's right-footed. Now we've got another Swede out on the right here, Fredrik Lagemir. Once again, super cheap, and it's generally a little. I think I usually sign him a little bit later on. His stats do develop quite good actually. Once again, a lot of these players turn out quite well. They've got some good potential there. Good off the ball pace. Usually a bit pacier actually, but whatever. But I mean, he's only 17 at the moment. Big matches consistency. He's already good there for them. Decent determination. So Fredrik Lagemir playing out on the right there. Can play on the left as well. He's definitely a decent one as well to pick up. Right, last two players on the list here. Up front, we've got Anton. I think this is it. Oh no, that's not how you say his name. Anton. Is that Anton Zlogar? Anton Zlogar, the Slovenian forward. Now, yes, he's a forward, but I've gone for him to play up front. 23, Slovenia, not in the EU, but he's a little bit slow maybe, but good determination, good all-round stats here. Still got some time to improve on them as well. He's strong, good fitness, great penalty taker as well, which is another reason why I like him. But he's relatively cheap. Olympia, Slovenian professional club. You could probably pick him up relatively cheaply there. Only bought him a couple of times, I think, once or twice maybe. But he doesn't do too bad a job. I don't know why I'm trying to press backspace there with nothing there. So Anton Zlogar is the striker, and his partner, the last player up here, is Christian. Is that? Oh, there he is. Christian Vikemi, I think that's how you say it. Estonian striker, 22 years old. He's already played for Estonia 50 times, which is just absolutely ridiculous. He's also with Hagen at Valnanga. Sorry, I butchered this. And obviously we've got Parmadukar there as well. One of the most versatile players in the game. Anyway, back to our player. Where'd he go? We've lost him. There he is. So yeah, he's probably attacking midfielder forward. Not quite a striker. Playing in behind the striker is probably his best position. That creativity of 18 there. He's got good flair. He's quick. His finishing isn't great, so he's probably not really an out-and-out striker. But at 22 years of age and capped 50 times for his country already, he's definitely a good bet. Christian Vikme, something like that. So there you go, guys. Just a little bit of extra bonus material there for you, for another third and fourth 11 of obscure players. Like I said, guys, you probably know most of them. They are generally a lot more popular than the last video, but I do hope there were a couple there that you have never seen before, and hopefully you can snap them up and they can do a job for you, and hopefully promotion or whatever you're trying to do in your Champman 10 Champman save. Anyway, guys, leave a comment, like, subscribe, check out all my other videos, and I will catch you next time. Bye.